ऐकू येतंय माझं?
जी सर.
हां. येस. फाईन.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार. येस.
Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. We can understand you're very busy, and we really wanted your expertise in this forum. And sir is going to speak on very important topics. So, sir, over to the participants. Please introduce, sir.
Okay, madam. Good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Sharad Jagtap from Kataria College, Daunt, affiliated to Pune University. First of all, I would like to thank the refresher course organizer and coordinator for giving me the opportunity to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Ganesh Agnihotri sir. Dr. Ganesh Agnihotri sir has been associated to the field of teaching from 1992. He has worked in the different capacity in various reputed school and colleges and presently working as a principal at JES College, Jalna. He has completed his PhD in physics in the field of magnetic oxide and its characteristics from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad in 2005. With his innovative approach and new technique, his teaching has remained as a simple and lucid. Having published several research papers in a reputed international and national journals and also participated and presented research paper in a various international national conferences and symposiums. He has been awarded national and international patent for his research. He has also been associated with NAC as an assessor. He is also appointed Honorable Chancellor Maharashtra as the member of Academic Council of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. He is also engaged in the teachers training program as a resource person with many organizations and NGOs. His association with several professional bodies give him recognition at various levels in India and abroad. Government of Maharashtra has confirmed him by Lokrajya Puraskar in 2012 and Rashtra Vibhushan Award by FACE New Delhi in 2015 and EGN India Award for an outstanding leader in education in the year 2023. Thus, today we will be receiving guidance from Ganesh Agnihotri sir, who has achieved great success in the field of education. I request you to share your thoughts. Thank you. Sir, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I share my screen? Will it be all right?
Ji sir. Ji sir.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dr. Madhuri and Jagtap sir, for introducing me and calling me here to interact with the participants. Let me share the screen. Okay. Oh, 1 minute. Huh? It's fine now. Is it okay?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So uh, the for calling me here on this dais. We are now discussing on ancient Indian science of metal and its applications. A very wonderful topic for all of you. As you can, this is a very famous monument. In fact, I should say, you maybe call it to be Ashok Stambh, the only non-rusting pillar lying there in the rainfall and absolutely no weathering effects. And whereas the advancement of metallurgy, the current metallurgy science is purely based on Indian approach. So whatever India has done the development in the past 10,000 years in the world of minerals and metals, the world is following so. Oh. So you can see the landmarks in science that we do have the metallurgical heritage of India. You can see a lot of pictures. In fact, the advanced huge ships from ancient India, the coins, coinage, the sculptures, and there are so many things. And you can see the minute design and the aesthetics behind designing all these sculptures. A colossal bronze statue of Buddha that is in Satlajganj, magnificent Chola bronze statues that is in Mahalakshmi, Nataraja. You can see all these things. We are just seeing the glimpses how ancient India was really rich in the metallurgical aspects and its development. A typical sword made of wood steel that is about 18th century. The hilt is of iron and coated with a thick layer of gold. And what we call it to be Damascus was actually produced from the region Marathwada, very nearby to Aurangabad. The Delhi iron pillar, as you can see, and you can see, the carving over there. This is zinc metallurgy at Zawar mines in Rajasthan, and these are almost some, 2,000, 3,000 years old. Now, let me clearly tell you that these zinc metallurgy at Zawar mines, we were knowing about the zinc extraction formula, and the world was showing us that we came to know zinc extraction in 17th century, but rather these sites have already clearly shown that we are quite old in extracting zinc. Those who are from science background, particularly chemistry background, they must know that zinc is extracted at 400 degrees Celsius condensation. And it is really a difficult process. A typical chemistry is involved into it. So you can see how science was advanced even during that time also. The underground furnace of Gadgaon that was in Madhya Pradesh, the tribal is melting iron ore. So this is all very old age. I mean, this is what is happening since ancient times. And this is what the design of the typical metallurgical techniques and tools. You can see that these are all the processes. If you could see the screen very clearly, I could tell you that these are Tirya Pitana, then Vidyadhar, and these are Dhupayantra. All these things are, see, you can see that the middle picture, that's very clear. We were able to produce even the perfumes, cosmetics. We were very good at medicines. We were very good at chemistry, alchemistry, pottery, pigments, painting, dyeing, and so on. So almost all these phenomena are very closely related with the metal finish or metallurgies or metallic tools. So all these were happening only when you know metallurgy very well. So this is what these are the signs. The monuments of the past are endowed with a rich source of information about the technological evolution of country and about the technology. So India has earned its special place in the world as a treasure of archaeological and cultural heritage. Let me repeat this word, the treasure of archaeological and cultural heritage. In fact, all these sculptures that we have seen in last 4 5 slides are nothing but these are the world's treasure. In almost every museum of the world, you will see that the treasure of cultural heritage and archaeological sculptures. Ancient old, Bhimbetka is one of the best, the oldest sculpture, stone culture in the world. And metallurgy is one of the science and technology that extract metal from their ores and shaping them into useful objects. Those who are from arts background or those who are from general background, they should know that metallurgy is the science and technology of extracting metal from their ores and shaping them into useful objects that played a pivotal role in advancement of ancient Indian civilization such as Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and all. In fact, in the upcoming slides, we'll be definitely going through a period very fast. And then we will talk of all ancient science of metals and so on. So with a rich history of spanning thousands of years, the evolution of metallurgical knowledge in ancient India reflects the ingenuity, resourcefulness, and cultural sophistication of its people. So, ingenuity, resourcefulness, and cultural sophistication of its people. These three words are very, very important as far as one would like to know the metallurgical knowledge of ancient India. What is the ingenuity? What kind of resources that they did have, and what kind of cultural sophistication that they have presented in front of the world. So this is what is the best example. The metallurgical practices in ancient India can be traced back to Indus Valley civilization. See, this is known right now, I mean, excavated. That is why we call it to be 3,300 to 1,300 BC. But Bhimbetka is something 40,000 years old. So there are many of such sites which are still hidden on the earths. So we have to actually extract them. We have to find out them, and then we have to know the world that we were quite old civilization. But this evidence is enough to understand how copper smelting and metalworking has been discovered at sites such as Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. So these early civilizations laid the foundation for metallurgical experimentation and innovation, paving the way for subsequent advancement in metal production technique. Ancient India was the first and only civilization to produce zinc by distillation process. This is what the distillation is. So this is oldest evidence of zinc smelting furnace. No doubt, ancient Indians were far advanced in metallurgy. So the transition from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age marked a significant milestone in ancient Indian metallurgy. Rigveda is one of the oldest sacred texts of Hinduism, contains references to metals such as gold, silver, copper, and iron. In fact, everybody must be knowing it is just a revision for all of us. So iron smelting technique becomes widespread during these times, leading to the emergence of iron-based tools, weapons, and artifacts. You can see on this picture, right on the top left of this, you can see the distillation process of zinc. And for your information, they used to carry these such, the small uh, zinc extraction units from one place to other, and during the transit only the zinc got extracted. So the moment they reach to the destination where the artifacts and uh, the tools were made or the weapons were manufactured in the factory. So if suppose near district. So from Beed to Jalna, the distance is almost 150 kilometers from the place where Shirur Kasar. So from Shirur Kasar to Jalna, and the Damascus wood was manufactured in Jalna itself. Later on, the technique was taken to the Swedish and all that. So you can see Maurya Empire, the cultural profile. You can see even the at the entrance gate, you can see how carving is done so nicely. So the Mauryan Empire and Gupta Empire, that is 322 to 185 BC, and Gupta Empire was 320 to 550 BC. So witnessed a remarkable advance in metallurgical technology. The establishment of large-scale iron production centers, such as the famous Iron Pillar of Delhi, commissioned by King Chandragupta II, exemplifies the metallurgical expertise of ancient Indian craftsmen. So the Gupta period also saw innovations in alloying techniques resulting in the production of high quality steel such as wood steel. And wood steel is one of the best steel in the world. Still, we do not have such formula obtained. Still, the whole world wanted to know what was the ingredient or what was the composition of wood steel and what was the manufacturing process of wood steel. Unfortunately, the whole knowledge has gone hidden. Now we have to find out that treasure, and the treasure hunt is through the topic called IKS, Indian Knowledge System. So, what kind of Indian knowledge system is hidden in the Indian culture, its heritage, and as well as the various advancements in early age? So ancient Indian metallurgy, you can see the small work that they have done on the both the pictures. See what kind of small tools they did have and what kind of design on various utensils. The ancient Indian metallurgists have made significant contributions to the development of metalworking, including casting, forging, welding, and alloying. These four techniques are there for any metal to get into this particular shape. So the mastery of these techniques enabled the production of diverse metal objects ranging from intricate sculptures, the ornamental jewelry, to sturdy agricultural implements and sophisticated weaponry. So all these were only made in India, and India was the top in all these things. You can see these two sculptures, how nicely they have been built. Even the small expressions also you can catch hold. In fact, let me add to it, since being a physics student, these two sculptures, out of that, you all are familiar with the Nataraj sculpture. And the Nataraj sculpture is now kept at the large laboratory of God's small own particle. The other laboratories at Aundha Nagnath also, near Parli Vaijana, sorry, near Jintur, in the Parvani district, Hingoli district. So these Nataraja shows the quantum entanglement and the world's evolution also. There are many factors in Nataraja that depicts various origin of Earth, universe, and its ongoing. And these are some dance pattern of Bharatanatyam, which is very old, in fact. So the metallurgy had deep cultural significance in ancient India, symbolizing the prosperity, power, and divine craftsmanship. So the crafting of metal artifacts was intertwined with religious rituals, artistic expressions, and economic prosperity, shaping the socio fabric of ancient Indian society. So the legacy, how they are connected to the 21st century. No, it's fine. No, sometimes people say that, okay, इतना हुआ तो क्या हुआ, हम लोग अच्छे थे पर आज है क्या. In fact, the whole science is almost wholly depend on the concepts that we have built in our ancient culture and ancient treasure wisdom. So the legacy of ancient Indian metallurgical knowledge continues to resonate in the 21st century with modern industries benefit from historical insights and technological innovations. See, the principles of alloying, it's purposely made dark, the bold one, heat treatment and corrosion resistance developed by ancient Indian metallurgists remain fundamental to contemporary metallurgy, influencing fields such as aerospace engineering, material science, and manufacturing technology. So there are many aspects, in fact. The electroplating is the phenomena. The thermoplate was the phenomena invented in India, and then it got progressed in the Western world, and then it has come back to India. But the continuous quest for innovation, excellence, and mastery of material that has taken India to a greater height. So, from early smelting furnaces of the Indus Valley to the sophisticated steel making technique of Gupta Empire, this para is very important. This has actually summarized what has had happened during this period of around 2000 years. So, the evolution of metallurgical knowledge in ancient India reflects a continuous quest for innovation, excellence, and mastery of materials. So, from the early smelting furnaces of the Indus Valley to the sophisticated steelmaking techniques of the Gupta Empire, ancient Indian metallurgists made enduring contributions to the global heritage of metallurgy. So, by understanding and appreciating this historical legacy, we can glean valuable insights into the ingenuity. Let us repeat the word ingenuity of our ancestors and the enduring relevance of ancient Indian technologies in the modern world. Now we will come back to what exactly was there in the metallurgy. But before that, we must know how we were good in engineering sciences, what we call it to be Shastra. So normally it is told that Ravan has Dashamukh. 10 faces it has got. So these 10 faces reflects 10 Shastra. These are engineering sciences, and Ravan was very advanced in his engineering Shastras. And in fact, all these have been clearly mentioned in the epic of Ramayana and the further other literature related to Ramayana. You can see these are the Indian names of Shastras. Krishi Shastra, that reflects to biological science. Jala Shastra, that studies the water resources. The Khani Shastra, that is mining and metallurgy, what we are going to study now. The Ratha Shastra, that is surface transportation. Recently, in one of the excavation of Rakhigadi, we have already found one of the biggest rath of that kind. People say that, I mean, the excavation has clearly indicated that raths were part of, I mean, they were made of metals, and metallurgy was there since 4 to 5,000 years before. Nauka Shastra, water transportation. Viman Shastra, that is air and space transportation. Air or space transportation. Then Veshma Shastra, that is habitation. Then Prakar Shastra. Prakar is Mahal, the big Mahal, the castles, that is called as Prakar. Even the Raigad also, and the latest forts, even the Daulatabad fort that is in Devgiri, all these forts were built with the help of this Prakar Shastra. Then Nagar Rachana Shastra, Hadappa and Mohenjo-daro are one of the best example of town planning. Yantra Shastra, there is machine and mechanisms. Then there are some Vidyas. There are 4 techniques which we call it to be Vidya, and there are 12 arts which you call it to be skills. So 4 विद्या और 12 कलाएं या फिर कौशल्य related to Khani Shastra or mining and metallurgy. So you can see these are enlisted here. These are the best example. In no slide, in fact, where nowhere you will get all these, the treasure information. You can see the first skill that we do have is Dhriti Vidya, that is gemology. Then Bhasmakaran Vidya, that is calcination technique. Then Sankaran Vidya, that is alloy making. And then Prithakaran Vidya is separation of metal. Let me repeat once again. Dhriti Vidya, Bhasmakaran Vidya, Sankaran Vidya, and Prithakaran Vidya. So the gemology is study of gemstone, and you all should know that Aurangabad, Jalna, Buldana, from Nasik till everywhere. In fact, all these were involved. The stones, the gemstones are found in almost every mining of these districts. Then you can see the skills. It's Ratna Disdhyana, that is cutting and polishing of gems. Then it is, see, let us, Sandhi Vigraha, you must be knowing about it. Ratna Disdhyana. This Jnana, what kind of? It's Ratnadi. Ratnadi Jnanaha. So whatever related to Ratna, James, is all studied in, it is all inculcated in the cutting and polishing of James. The skill is referred as cutting and polishing of James. So second is Kshari Kashanam. No, Kshaya, Kshaya, Kshaya. You can read this very nicely. It's Kshaya Risk Kshanam. So Kshayari Kshanam. Let us break this. So slag removal. So Kshaya means the one which can be removed, right? And Nishkaran, it is, so Nishkaran ka ye, this word is there. So this is how the word is formed. It is slag removal. Then Kshayar Pariksha. So testing of chemicals. So Kshayar is the slag, the pure slag. So the testing of chemicals is done. Then Sneha Nishkashan, removal of oils. So while oxidation or while calcination, lot of oil material is formed, and maybe because of that, so much of layers have formed. So these are called as Sneha Nishkashan. Sneha is smooth. Oil is always smooth. That is why it is Sneha Nishkashan. Then it is Ishtika Bhanjan. Ishtika Bhanjan. It is Bhanjan, not Bhajan. Ishtika Bhanjan. That N is missing here. Ishtika Bhanjan. Ishtika is bricks. Ishtika means square shape. So Ishtika Bhanjan is making the bricks, tiles or pottery of their own shape. Then there is Dhatu Sanyog, combination of metals with herbs. In Ajanta paintings, lot of paints is formed with the help of Dhatu Sanyog, and that is why it is remain there for a long time and still intact. No oxidation effect, no weathering effect, and so on. Then it is Kach Patradikaran. Kach means glass. Patradikaran, making of. So it is glass making. Then Loha Bhisar. It is said that glass was first manufactured in China and then Europe, and then South America, and then Africa, and all that. It's not so. So it is Loha Bisar. The eighth skill is Loha Bisar, that is iron smithing. Then S9, the skill 9 is Bhanda Kriya, making bhandas, the pottery, utensils, making metal pots. Then this is grading of gold. You can see grading of gold. Grading of gold means what kind of carat does it have? It's Swarnadi Darshan. What kind of darshan? Darshan means as you look at the gold, after looking at how shine, how luster, how blah, 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 blah. So there are many several tests of gold. So all these are studied under these Swarnadi Darshan. This is Makarand, Makarandadi Kruti, powder making with the help of honey. Makarandadi Kruti. You can even make metal powder mix with honey, and you can get marvelous mixtures of honey and metal. And then there are various aspects. In fact, even in Ajanta also, they have extracted, they have made some kind of paints using herbs, honey and so on. So ऐसे कहा जाता है कि मेटल को हनी का एक संस्कार दिया जाता है. एंड मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ दिस मकरंदादि कृति, जितने भी हमारे स्कल्पचर्स है, जितने भी देवी देवताओं की मूर्तियां हैं मंदिर की, उन्हें नहलाया जाता है ना. 5 रसों से नहलाया जाता है, दूध, तूप, शर्करा आदि, है ना. ये सबसे नहलाया जाता है ताकि उसको क्लीन हो जाए. नहलाने की जो प्रक्रिया है उसे स्नेह निष्कांचन बोलते हैं, और मकरंदादि कृति की जो प्रक्रिया है उसे रिमूविंग डॉट्स एंड नैनोस्पोर्स in the metal and making it more luster and more shine using eco-friendly approach. Then Sanyog Dhatu Jnana, it is metal alloys, as like bronze you can see. Khani Shastra in Vedic literature, that is also one of the like great Shastra that we have been seeing it. Till now we have seen how great we were in understanding the metallurgy, and we have even seen the glimpses of these metal science from ancient world, and we even know now how many vidyas are there, what kind of sciences that we have had, and what kind of skills that we do have. I mean, what kind of techniques and what kind of skills. So all these things till now we have studied. There may be a question based on these, like how many vidyas, how many, what sciences, the metallurgy in earlier, I mean, in ancient India, it is called as, so it is Khani Shastra. And what kind of, what is the Shastra, what is the skill that we use it for, using honey or using herb and so on. So you should know all these things. You can store these. I will share this PPT with the organizer, the Dr. Madhuri Sawant ma'am, so she can then pass it on to you also for your information. Khani Shastra in Vedic literature. So sage Agastya Rishi, desirous of strength, used his pickaxe for the benefit of men and vegetation. So Agastya Puran is one of the biggest literary evidence that India had done lot of progress in for the metallurgy and as well as agriculture. So an intelligent person who acquires gold and lives long. So an experienced person sharpens steel axe and uses for cutting. Techniques and skills. Let us go one by one to these small things. I will keep this slide for long so that you can read it properly. And you can even see nowadays Surat, Mumbai are one of the best places for diamonds and diamond things, diamond origin and diamond cutting tools. So the gemology is one of the place where India was right at the top. Kohinoor is one of the diamond which was very precious, and till now we do not have a diamond as equal or as compete with Kohinoor. See the gemology, that is Ratna Pariksha, the planets, birthstones and herbs, gems and semi-precious stones, identification, cutting and polishing. These are the some of the stones which are lying on the, I mean, on the left of the frame. So I'll just keep this slide for your reading for a long time. Ratna Pariksha mentions 5 defects of diamond. In our solid state physics, we do study defects, and defects decide the conductivity of a metal. Defects decide the luster of the metal. Defects decide so many things. So, as like in diamond also, defects decide so many things, its pricing aspect and so on, many things. So, opaqueness, the spot, the streaker line, non-uniform cuts, marks. So, you can see the Indian names, the ancient names. Its opaqueness is Mala, that is Mal. Mal means dirtiness. So that is opaqueness. Bindu, Bindu is point. Streak or line, that is Rekha. Rekha is a line. Then non-uniform cuts, it's tras. Trasadi bolte na. When your life is with the help of all non-uniform cuts, then it is called as trasadi. So tras is the Sanskrit word. And then it's marks. It's kakapad. So kakapad is a mark, a dot. Kakapad. That is a dark. Kak is dark. So the dark marks are there. So ancient text Yukti Kalpataru specifies a test to identify the genuine pearls. The calcination techniques, that is Bhasmakaran Vidya. In short, we will come to know, we will in fact just get introduced with these things. Calcination technique, that is Bhasmakaran Vidya. So this Bhasmikaran Vidya is nothing but in modern world, it is an alkali extraction, testing of alkali. It is oil extraction and it is brick making. So all these vidyas, all these skills require Bhasmikaran process, and that is why it is Bhasmikaran Vidya. So you can say that it is Shayara Nishkashan, then testing of alkalis, Shayara Pariksha, then it is Sneha Nishkashan, and then Ishtika Bhajan. So you all know, in fact, all these A, B, C, D, you had already gone through the earlier slides. Let us go to firing of clay bricks. The process of making bricks is given. Before that, we will go to the oil extraction, that is on the left down. So as per Kautilya Arthashastra, 4 types of oily liquids are there. One is ghee, mustard seed oils, animal fat and bone marrow. And oils were also extracted from seeds of neem, mango stone, wood apple, etc. So it is surprising that other oils such as cottonseed oil, groundnut oil, coconut oil, or linseed oil, etc., are not mentioned. Now, why are they not mentioned? That we do not know. Whether they do not have any utility in the Sneha Nishkasan process or not, or in the utility in the ancient sciences or not, that we do not know. But cottonseed, groundnut, and coconut, all these are very useful oils. But in spite of that, they have not used these kind of oils. Rather, they have used neem oil, mango, and wood apple, and so on. The D1 is firing of clay bricks and tile. The pottery products, that is Ishtikadi Bhajan. The process of making bricks is given. So again, it's Shilparatna, Vastu Vidya, Shilpadipak, and Aparajita Prucha. You can see a small hut built on there in the picture. So all these process is called as Ishtikadi Bhajan. Then another process of calcination is lime calcination, that is clearly mentioned in Bhrigu Sanhita of chapter 5, describes in detail the process of preparation of lime mortar. So, and even the glass making is also mentioned. So, Shatapat Brahman and Vinay Pitika, mentions glass. The archaeological excavations at Takshashila gives the evidence of glass in 3rd century. Takshashila was in 3rd century. And so you can see that even we had some 23,000 years, 28,000 years, we have had these kind of glasses mentioned. Then it is Sankar Vidya, the composition or compound formation, mixture of two or more things. So there are three methods to mix metals. It's Bala Shankar, then Jala Shankar, and then third is Agni Shankar. So these three are clearly mentioned. You can read it out the name itself suggests. The name itself suggests Bala Shankar is by force. So mixing is by force, such as hitting two metals. So especially in thermocouple junction, we require Bala Shankar in the modern days. Then it is Jala Shankar by adding water, such as preparation of lime mortar by adding lime, sand, and water. Then third is Agni Shankar, mixing by hitting to melt metals and to form alloys. This method is mostly used under metallurgy. So third is more important, Agni Shankar. Even in the modern days also, we use big furnaces for making the molten metals and so on, and to shape it as per our, even though remove impurity, we use Agni Shankar method. The iron smelting technique of Munda blacksmith, that is Karmad, is mentioned in Rigveda. So Jarati bhi aushadhi bhi parane bhi shakunana karmara ashmabhi. Jvami hiranyavantam ichhati Rigveda 9.112.2. So that clearly mentioned that we have not used only these things, but we have used even the herbs also. Right. So use of herbs in metal smelting is an ancient Indian art mastered by tribal ironsmiths. So these are Munda, Karmars, or Asuras. They convert iron into steel by treating it with dried wood and green leaves. So the Cassia auriculata is used for this purpose. You can see this kind of tree there. Then it is Loha Bhisar, ironsmith. A blacksmith makes many kinds of tools and other objects out of metal. The first metal used were bronze and iron. So there are two main methods of metal working used to produce decorative and functional items, forging and casting. So forging and casting were the main industrial tools even nowadays been preferred all over the world, and that is the basic tool of converting iron into the desired shape, size, and its utility, based on its utility. Tempering of steel by herbs and salts. This is very important aspects. The ancient Indian text on Dhanurved by Jamadagnya or Vishwamitra describe technique of wars and weapons. If you remember, the Jamadagni and Vishwamitra were the two rishis who were involved in weaponry making, and they were excellent at metallurgy also. Lot of literature is still available. The text describes the techniques of tempering of steel. Modern metallurgy should verify this technique using modern instruments. Still, Indians do have, in fact, a science. In fact, Indians can explore more on this particular field and master themselves in the world of having the intellectual property, because still we have not yet tried about these tempering of steel by herbs and salts, because these herbs are not either found or not been identified, and even if they are identified, we were still unable to make such kind of things. Even the Ajanta paint also, we were still unable to make replicate Ajanta paint because of, in fact, if we explore more on these aspects, the teachers who are already there, the professors who are already there, they can have their student dedicated to these kind of things to make the tampering of steel by herbs and salts. So it's grind pimply, sambhav, it's a rock salt, and kushta, that is lappa, in cow's urine. So all these are mixed in cow's urine. Coat the tiller with this mixture and heat it in a fire till the color of the steel turns yellow. Then immerse in oil till it cools down. This is the process. In spite of following by many people, still we were not able to find out the exact percentage of what kind of composition of grind pipli or sambhav or kushta or even the cow's urine. So this is really a treasure knowledge. Then this bhanda kriya, it's a skill for making of metal parts. The art of metal work is known to Indians for almost 5,000 years from now. Indian craftsmen have been using different metals like iron, copper, silver, and different alloys like bronze, bell metal, white metal, and so on. They produce items such as pots, pans, utensils, photo frames, sculptures of deities, and some mythological figures and animals. And Banaras is well known for cast sculptures. Muradabad is famous for brass work. Murshidabad is also one of the famous place in Bengal. So these are all places in the world. I mean, world famous places. Even now, also, if you extract Banaras, you might get these kind of industrial places. And in fact, a recent site is also found where the whole industry is made for Bhanda Kriya. There is a site reserved for this also. You can just Google it and you can find out. The Swaranathamya Darshan, testing purity of gold or silver. So traditional goldsmith of India test gold by touchstone or kasoti stone. The stone is cleaned by rubbing with charcoal and then by seed of castor. The importance of charcoal was known to us. And now the carbon 60, that is Buckminster Fullery, has already now proving its utility in the field of nanotechnology. But since we were knowing about the charcoal, so many things have happened in our ancient India, and now we wanted to know more about it because the world is wanting it. It's Makarandadi Kruti, use of honey in making metal powder. So nanoparticles in consumer products are made from zinc and titanium oxide. You all know that almost all the makeup things, the foundation, this, that, lipstick, and all everything, the sunscreen lotions and everything are all made with the help of zinc or titanium oxide. So different products such as optoelectronic devices, sunscreens, paint pigments, rubber components, cosmetics, food additives, and medicines contain such kind of nanoparticles. They are still following Makarandadi Kruti, but not as eco-friendly as we were following it. Green synthesis is made green synthesis methods are developed to produce metal nanoparticles by using natural components or plant components in place of honey. You can see A, B, C, aloe vera, neem tree, and zinc sulfide, the honey solution for zinc sulfide. So all these things, they were using it from the beginning only. And now we have new branch of chemistry called green chemistry. The mining is also one of the important aspects. How Prithakaran Vidya, the separation of metal. I'll just keep the slide as it is, just to read it for you. The Sanskrit name and its English synonym. I want you to just read it properly. Okay, shall we go ahead? Now we will come to the different parts of the lecture. It's Kautilya Arthashastra contain 10 books, 150 chapters. Chapter 12 and 13 of the book 2 is related to mining and metallurgy. Our library has got all these things. So, as per the text, the superintendent of mines shall examine old and golden mines. The richness of the ore can be ascertained by weight, depth of color, piercing smell, and test. How visual identification of the few ores is described? By either sulfurate of arsenic, that is harithala, the liquids which ooze out from pits, caves, slopes, or deep excavations of well-known mountains which are as yellow as ripe turmeric. And how kanchanika, that is ores of gold, color as that of petals of lotus or the feathers of a parrot or a peacock, which are greasy, transparent, and very heavy. So, color of ore indicates metals or minerals in it. So, these are the identification norms, the parameters, whether there is a gold, whether there are any other metals into it or not. So, what kind of parameters? The heavier the ores, the greater will be the quantity of metal in them. The impurities of ores, whether superficial or inseparably combined with them, can be got rid of. So, heavier the ores, the greater will be the quantity of the metal in them. So, alaka, a kind of precious stone, color or conch shell, camphor, alum, butter, pigeon, turtle dove, opal, that is color of that, the neck of a peacock. Then agate, the color of that, granulated sugar. So silver ores smell like raw meat, are disjoint, gray or blackish white, and are marked with lines or spots, and which, when roasted, do not split but emit much foam and smoke. So these are basic testing of the metals, its purity and its genuinity. These are very important slides. Those who are interested in Indian knowledge system, especially ancient science and its metallurgy, lot of scope is there. You can earn n number of patents into it. So I appeal everybody to go for these kind of exploration, or at least encourage people to go for metallurgy, because metallurgy is one of the branch of engineering that takes last merit. The cutoff is very low as compared to computer science and other engineering sciences. And there is nothing in computers. Lot of things are happening in the field of metallurgy, and there can be lot of job opportunities also. Or those who are not interested in job opportunities, even you can encourage them for the startups also by applying these small techniques. The ores are chemically treated with concentrated urine and alkalis and are mixed or smeared over the mixture of the powder, that is Rajvriksha, Vatavriksha, and Pelu, together with the cow's bile and the urine and dung of a buffalo, an ass, an elephant, and then melted. Now, why these are done like that? You all know the process of calcination. You all know the process of oxidation. There are lot of oxides, lot of carbon origin oxides, and the hydroxides also. So all these can get intermingled with, and the temperature also can be controlled. Even the original luster of the metal can remain there. The bonding, the structural format will not get disturbed. That is why maybe because of these techniques have been used. So metals are rendered soft when they are treated with the powder of mushroom and yam together with the ashes of barley, black beans, flowers of palash or satsapan, and pelu, the or with the milk of both the cow and the sheep. You can see that metals are rendered soft when they are treated with the powder of mushroom and yam together with the ashes of barley, black beans, flowers of palash, and so on. So, whatever the metal is split into 100 1,000 parts is rendered soft when it is thrice soaked in the mixture made up of honey. So it is madhu sanskar, ship's milk, sesame oil, clarified butter, jaggery, and the yeast and mushroom. You can see what kind of sanskar that we make on these metal to make it more soft and luster shine. You can see these are Indian techniques. Ores of copper, ores of lead, and ores of tin, obtained from plains of slopes of mountains and which are heavy, greasy, softy, tawny, green, dark, bluish yellow, pale red, or red. So, how can we identify it is ore of copper? By these colors. If it is heavy, if it is greasy, if it is soft, it is tawny, it's green, dark, bluish, yellow, pale, red, and so on. And how about red? It's color of pigeon or cow's bile, and which are marked with the white lines and smell like raw meat. Ores of tin, it's variegated in color as saline or soil, or which have the color of burnt lump of earth. Who is Loha Jaksha? The one, the person. Oh, 1 minute. Huh? I got disconnected actually. One minute. Is the screen stop sharing?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Yeah, now it's visible. Yeah. So the one who carry on the manufacture of copper, lead, tin, mercury, brass, bronze, or ball metal, the one who attend to the collection of conch shells, diamonds, precious stones, pearls, and so on. When the gold is rendered brittle owing to its contamination with the lead, it shall be heated with dry cow dung. So when it splits into pieces, owing to its hardness, it shall be drenched after heating into oil and mixed with cow dung. You can see a lot of sanskar is being done on these metals. Now, how coal electricity generation, steel production, cement manufacturing, cobalt, it is widely used in cancer treatment, diamond in saw blades. These are applications. Just I will go through it once. You all know, in fact, about this. These are the basic things that we should know. And these are all part of modern science approach. I want your attention to be on the last part of it because I love zinc very much. And zinc is one of the best metals that I have ever met so far. And you can bring so much of wealth by having the ancient industrial options with the help of zinc. So, zinc paints, rubber, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, plastics, inks, soaps, batteries, textiles, and electrical equipment. Everywhere you can find zinc. Mineral is there. These are the minerals of India. Limestone, manganese, bauxites, and iron ore. I'll not go into much detail. These you have already been doing it from school time. These are Sanskrit name: Abrak, Alak, Gagan, Kshararaj, Lavan, Navasar, Sudha, Vyom. Vyom is mica, Sudha is lime, Navsar is salt of ammonia, Lavan is salt, Kshararaj is borax, Gagan is mica again. But this Vyom and this Gagan are two different mica in different. This Abrak is also mica, but these mica, Abrak, then Gagan and Vyom are three different micas. And Alak is orpiment. Classification of minerals. Minerals can be grouped under three heads. Non-metallic and energy minerals. Metallic minerals are further divided into three groups: ferrous, non-ferrous, and precious. This is little typical science. So let me just go through it a little faster. Metallic minerals such as gold, silver, copper are precious and are mixed with the other metals and impurities, the composition what we call it to be. And non-metallic minerals are nitrate, potash, coal are known as fuels as these produce heat. So petroleum and coal are paint. Plant and animal, plant and animal remains. The ferrous minerals are the iron content that has cobalt, nickel, manganese, and non-ferrous are the one which has no iron content such as copper, tin, and aluminum, and so on. Metal ores that are mentioned in the Arthashastra. Heavier the ore, the most the possibility of gold is there. So color is yellow or red, contains blue or green lines, emits smoke or foam when heated. So these are mentioned. So ores containing lead or antimony smells like raw flesh and has variegated white lines or spots. It emits smoke or foam when heated. The color may be crow black. Crow black, you understand? Crow black. The ores containing copper is heavy, soft. The color is tawny, green, and reddish or red. The iron ores contain round stones, whitish red. This is all typical metallurgy. It is just to introduce you with the typical metallurgy. So Vikrant ore has a color of craw eggs or perch flake. So gem ore is smooth, produces sound, hard, and of light color. Softening of materials. So addition of bulbous roots of plantain and yam
Sir,
along with alkali
Hello.
ashes
hello, sir.
made by
Echo
burning
is coming,
barley.
sir.
Just read it.
Sir,
Hello.
sorry for the disturbance. Echo is coming, sir.
There are two mic are there, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello.
Equal me. So please unmute one.
Okay. Right. Fine. Thank you. Now you'll listen to it clearly.
Yes, sir.
So addition of bulbous roots of plantain and yam along with alkali ashes, honey, sugar syrup, goat milk, sesame oil mixed with ghee, jiggery, yeast together with plantain. Same juice when applied to leather 3 times becomes soft. So softening of materials, hardening of materials. So soft metals can be made hard by smearing powder of teeth or horns of cow on red hot material and then quenching in cold water. So hardening of material is also one of the best process in what way the hard metals can be manufactured. Fusion of zinc with copper. So dancing girl statue that is on Mohenjo-daro, alloying copper with tin, lead or arsenic. So Mohenjo-daro, the presence of tin is 4.5 to 13%. And the extensive evidence for the ancient mining of copper ores from Khetri region of Rajasthan in northwestern India dating back to 3rd and 2nd millennium of BC. So early gold and silver ornaments are found from Indus Valley sites such as Mohenjo-daro, that is 3000 BC as they predicted it. But nowadays it says that Mohenjo-daro and Harappa is quite older than what we have predicted, what we have studied about it. The lead is also there. The mineral-rich Aravali region of Rajasthan was one of the important early lead mining regions in antiquity. The use of low-melting lead tin eutectic as a solder became common in Europe by the late medieval period. Mercury was one of the best metals so far. Sanskrit name for chemistry is Rasayan Shastra. So Rasa means a liquid or mercury. So in fact, Rasayan Shastra is made from mercury only. You can just read it out. These are typical chemistry things. So mercury is a volatile metal which is easily produced by heating cinnabar by downward distillation, and then the mercury vapor are collected. Mercury was also main constituent in alchemy, chemical transmutation and experiments. That is used in the development of, which has played a very big role in the development of chemistry. Then tin is there, then zinc is there. As I told you, the earliest reference of metal tin has been made in Yajurvedic Rudra Chamak. Chamak is the it is for the Shiva Chamak Stotra. The name of its chief ore, cassiterite, is possibly derived from Sanskrit kastira. The tin ore was found in Tosham, that is Haryana. So, is Rasaratnakar is one of the biggest books so far ever existing now. Even it's available on the net also. It's almost 900 pages book, and they have described zinc very much. They have even given the details of distillation process by Tiryak Patin Yantra. So Tiryak Patin Yantra is the one which I have shown you right in the beginning of the presentation. It's Bidriware. Bidriware is very famous art of making ornaments and utensils or ornamental utensils. And this art was flourished near the region of Bidar during Vijayanagar Samraj, Vijayanagar dynasty. So the art was developed in 14th century. Several impressive vessels, vessels, Hakka bases are made of Bidri. And now also you can find many houses, many families, they might have the Bidri art sculptures as well as utensils too. Then Panchaloha literally means an alloy of 5 metals, Panchadhatu, which we call it to be. So which is most widely used for making icons and idols. These 5 metal combinations are copper, gold, silver, lead, and zinc. So you remember these, it's copper, gold, silver, lead, and zinc. Considered to be a highly auspicious composition, it is widely believed that wearing jewelry made of Panchadhatu brings balance in life, self-confidence, good health, fortune, prosperity, and peace of mind. We do not know about all these things, but one should try it on molecular level, then you might understand. Let us mix Panchadhatu and understand the current and other things also. So you can even explore this kind of field. Iron and steel in ancient India. The meaning of Sanskrit word ayas has been debated for a long time. So types of iron as in Rasratna Samuchay. Iron was classified into 3 basic categories which are applicable even today also. Right? So it is, one is Kantaloha, second is Mundaloha, and third is Tikshna Loha. Just read it once. You will understand how good it is. It's Brahmak Kantaloha, Chumbak Kantaloha, Karshak Kantaloha, Dravak Kantaloha, and Kantaloha. So all these are types. Soft magnet, mild magnet, attracts ion objects, very strong magnet, permanent magnet, and very powerful. As like ferrimagnetic, paramagnetic, um, and so on. So, you know, so its Mundaloha is Mrudu, based on its structure. Mrudu Mundaloha, Kunda Mundaloha, mottled gray iron, and Kadar Mundaloha, there is white cast iron. So these are the types of iron. And then one is last is Tikshna Loha. It's Khar Tikshna Loha, that is brittle but develops good cutting edges. Sara Tikshna Loha, is fibrous looking softer iron. Then Runala Tikshna Loha, that is hard and tough. Then Taravat Tikshna Loha, then Vajra Tikshna Loha, and then Kala Tikshna Loha. All these are types of iron only. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 3, 9, and then these are 6. 15, almost 15 to 20 types of loha are there, but basically they are categorized as wrought iron, carbon steel, and cast iron. This is very famous wood steel. The word derived from Kannada, ukku, and the Tamil ekku, means crucible steel. This high carbon wood steel from ancient India has a characteristics of wavy pattern with alternating light and dark shades due to the large quantity of carbon added to the iron. The famous Damascus sword and Prophet Muhammad's sterling sword were manufactured using wood steel. Let me repeat this last sentence. The famous Damascus sword and Prophet Muhammad's sterling sword were manufactured using wood steel, and they were manufactured in India or with the help of Indian technique. Because nowhere they have mentioned the process of wood steel except Indian ancient literature. So that is very important discovery that India has made. So case study of metal casting. Just I'll go through it once. You all know, in fact, the iron pillar, but everybody should know what exactly the iron pillar is made of and how much height it has got and how much dimension. What is the dimension? Its height is 7.2 meter with 93 centimeter buried below. So it is a wonder that iron has not rusted despite the 16 centuries that have passed since then. So an excellent example of advanced metallurgy of those atoms and is a marvel in itself. So high amount of phosphorus is the secret. Though they have, found out how much amount of phosphorus is being, composed with this, that we still do not know, and that is why we are not able to produce these such kind of iron pillars even now also. The iron pillar at Kodacheri IKS. So this is second iron pillar. So it's Dhwajastamba, flagstaff of Ambika temple at Kodacheri of iron. So the iron pillar is about 10 meter above the ground level with a rectangular cross section of 8.5 centimeter to 5.8 centimeter. The weight of this flagstaff can be estimated as about 500 kg. It's Dhar iron pillar. It's Delhi Dhana. It's in Madhya Pradesh. Dhar is in Madhya Pradesh. Total length is 13 meter and is currently lying in 3 broken pieces at Dhar, MP. And that is why it is lying down. Huge gunmetal belts in India. Gunmetal are the same thing as I told you. It's Naro Shankar bell at Nasik. Another is in Menevli, that is in The metal mirrors are still produced. The few traditional bronze smiths of Aranamula, Kerala, they are still having these kind of mirrors, and they are very prestigious and very expensive. World famous metal mirrors, the polishing process can go on for 2 to 3 days. The mirror is then mounted on bronze frames with exquisite carving. So the lost wax process is the only technique used. See the Dokra technique of Bastar and Bastar and Bankura. You can see the small nitty gritty that they have done in the sculpture of these two pictures mentioned in these two pictures. And these are so called done by tribal artists in MP and one is in Bankura, West Bengal. They create Dhokra sculpture. All the artwork is one of the kind of never reproduced on a large scale. So alchemy in ancient India. So ancient text Manasolus of King Someshwara contains a full chapter on alchemy. That is Dhatuvad. The translation of Sanskrit verses is 377. I mean, it's given below. With the help of alchemy, wealth can be earned. Copper can be converted into gold and tin and can be converted into silver. So the crushed, completely dried flowers of palash mixed with milk of she goat and applied for 3 days to complete the process. So smear the tin surface with powder, 1/6 of the proper proportion, and heat it till it becomes beautiful like silver. Apply a juice of white lotus on tin for 32 days. Heat the smeared tin or lead and heat it till black color and smell is removed. It becomes silver like. You can see the process of making silver is clearly mentioned, but I haven't heard that anybody has made these kind of silver through these palash flowers, palash leaves. So this is one of the oldest apparatus that has been shown here. And these are the ancient metallurgical equipments on the right side. So 20,000 furnaces operating across the country, indicating the geographical spread. Till now, we have extracted or we have found out, excavated 20,000 furnaces, either in the literature they have been mentioned or on the sites they have been excavated, and which are almost 2000 BC. And the reference is Brihad Viman Shastra and Ras Ratna Samucchay. You can see all these pictures. Excellent pictures these are. They are fantastic ones. This is very famous, very close to us. This is also very famous. This is also very famous. This Zawar plant, Zawar zinc extraction. This is Kailasa temple. This is also Kailasa temple. This is Brodeshwar. And this is a process. Steel industry, ancient steel industry. So it's almost done now. If any doubt you do have, please let me know. And you can see the best sculpture. You can see the even hairy structure on Lord Gautam Buddha's. So this excellent. I mean, it just like a turban. You can see the position of the nose and all that, how sharp they have been carved. So the excellent architectural aspects. And some of the Gautam Buddha's paintings are with the help of metal. And this is Lakshmi, the symbol of prosperity and wealth. So thank you very much for your wonderful listening. Thanks a lot. Any question, any doubt?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
You have in second last or third slide, you can explain about the copper convert into silver and silver further which convert into gold. It's but how it's possible at that time?
Truly speaking, This is all mentioned in the text. Now, even people say that this is fiction, but some of them have tried that. We all know that the flowers of Palash have gold content into it.
Yes, sir.
So flowers of Palash have gold content into it. So I don't think, okay, I mean, this is definitely possible. We have to try it with thousands of try. And till now, people have not yet manufactured or converted from the Palash to gold.
Yes, sir.
Let us try once.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello,
Anything?
sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Dr. Gangu.
Yes, sir.
So, it is very good, sir. Very insightful lecture. I have
Thank you.
one question, sir.
Hmm.
So, that is, what sustainable lessons can modern society learn from this ancient Indian use of metals in daily life? What you said, all the examples. Can you explain in that matter, like sustainable lessons, like in those areas, how it will
Oh.
be connected?
Yeah, in fact, what we should understand from these ancient Indian things, that they have been all the time eco-friendly. So I think that is one of the best sustainable pattern of development. Secondly, one must accept that they were patient, right, in this AI age, right. In spite of that, they have done it in a so nitty-gritty approach in articulating the facts, in putting the matter into the proper form, and even the aesthetic sense also they have developed it to a greater extent. So, as far as in this AI and sustainable development pattern, I mean SDG 4.0 and so on, nowadays we are following. So, while designing SDG 4.0 or while adopting SDG 4.0, the ancient metallurgy will definitely help and will surely reduce the pollution. As you all know, since I'm from Jalna, and since I'm held from Jalna, I know that there are 150 uh, iron plants, steel plants are there, and that really pollutes Jalna with lot of iron dust and so on, steel dust, and lot of pollution is there. But in spite of 1 minute, just a minute. Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what I mean to say that, see, Jalna being held and having a lot of steel industry into it, the sustainable steel industry pattern is now they have taken it on their board. We, being physics researcher, we are also helping them, and now our college is now a registered R&D center for steel industry, and we are now on to, I mean, exploring the sustainable steel pattern in this age using even AI also.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Sir,
Thank you very
sir,
much.
hello, sir. In Jalna, there is a
Yes.
steel industry. Steel industry. So, which factory or which mine are there nearby to Jalna?
Sorry?
Which factory or which mine of iron
Mine. No,
are?
no, we do not have any iron ores near Jalna. We are only produce steels, right?
Yes.
We do not, we just reprocess the steel. From the wrought
Yes.
iron, we take it and then we produce it into steel bars and on, like that.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
We cast it, in fact.
Thank you, sir. Because
Right.
I am from Sambhajinagar, so I don't have idea about any mine of the iron which is
No,
nearby
no, no.
Jalna. Because
We
Jalna
take it
is
we take it from Gadchiroli and so on.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Yes, sir. Any question? Shall we conclude then?
Yes.
So thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
So much.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you
Thank
so
Roll
much,
number
sir. Ganesh, sir. I'm sure the
Hello.
lecture was. Yes,
Hello.
you have any questions?
Has anybody a question?
Thank you, sir.
Ganesh, sir, I don't think there is any question right now. So we will conclude.
No
On
problem.
behalf of MMTTC, sir, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And we are very glad to have you in this online forum, sir.
Thank you.
Over to the participants. You can give a formal vote of thanks.
Okay, madam.
roll number 27.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible,
Yeah,
sir.
we can hear you. Roll number
Myself,
27. Please go ahead.
myself, Dr. Sharad Jagtap.
On
First
your
of all,
video, sir.
yes, madam. First of all, thank you for giving your valuable time to share your thoughts in this refresher course. Sir, you have presented very proud thoughts about the IKS, and you have also give us examples in the lecture so that everyone has understood the topic very well. A heartfelt thank you to the coordinator and all organizers who really work hard for this refresher course, and also thanks to all participants for joining the refresher course, and once again thanks to all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Ganesh, sir. Agnihotri ji, thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. आवाज येत नाही वाटतं.
In another few minutes, we will start the next lecture. We have a professor from Jammu University who will be giving us lecture on skill development and IKS. Okay, sir has already joined. Namaskar, sir. Anil Gupta, sir.
मैम नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप? ऑल गुड?
ठीक है, sir. All is good, sir, and we were waiting for you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And as we know
My
that
pleasure.
you all are having.
It's my
Yes, sir, we
pleasure.
are. Yeah, so we are hearing the news and all the calamities going on over there. And yeah, I was talking to you since last to connect, but there is also a connectivity problem. So I think everything is set, sir. Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can start if
Yeah.
the participants are ready. We can
The participants. Yeah, I request the participants to please go on with the introduction.
Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Hearing me, madam? Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Audible, sir.
Bola,
Proceed.
bola.
Uh, My name is Ajinkya Sanjay Cherke, as assistant professor in Ankush Tope Mahavidyalaya, Jalna. Today's session is focused on the Indian knowledge system. Thank you to giving opportunity to introduce our great privilege and honor to welcome to this distinguished chief guest for the today's session, Dr. Anil Gupta sir, an instrument academician and visionary into the field of tourism, education, and innovation. He holds a PhD, MBA, and MTTM, and brings with him a rich academic and research background. Dr. Anil Gupta sir has been published more than 40 research papers in reputed national and international journals, including Journal of Travel Research, International Journal of Information Management, Behavior of Information Technology, Journal of Relating and Retailing and Consumer Service, and many others. He has also edited 8 books on tourism management and complete and UGC major research project as served as deputy coordinator for UGC innovative program on composite cultural management. Dr. Anil Gupta sir was also a Digital India Research Fellow at the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, and revised a prestigious Illuminated Literate Award in 2019 for his research contribution. In his academic journey, he has successfully guided 10 PhD scholars in diverse areas of such as community-based tourism, pro-environmental behavior, tourism and technology, academic entrepreneurship, strategic planning, and university governance. He also served as a course coordinator for the strategic management paper under the EPG Pathshala MHRD under has contributed as a content writer of mocks. Dr. Anil Gupta sir currently hold the position of Associate Dean Student Welfare at the University Jammu, and also serve as a secretary of the University of Alumni Association UJAA. He is active member of the various academic and innovation community include NEP Cell, University Business Incubation and Innovation Center, University Entrepreneurship and Skill Development Center, National Innovation Startup Policy, NISP. He also chair his community for the state position paper on published on quality textile and non-textile material. He issued the challenge and way forward under the National Curriculum for Work NEP 2020 as extended activity of Dr. Gupta sir has also been several a joint secretary of India's Institute of Public Administration IIPA Jammu and Kashmir Religion Branch of since 2016. Will are truly honored to have such among the today's session.
Right. So I think there is
Roll
some issue.
number.
Am I audible,
Yeah,
ma'am?
I would. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would like to add more things about our resource person. Knowing him since last 2 decades, I have seen Professor Anil Gupta.
Kindly address
He's a
the
very he is a very good researcher and published very reputed research papers which have been cited by many professors all over the world. And knowing him, he has always very innovative ideas upon bringing his department to a very different level. Sir, again, on behalf of MMTTC, I thank you for joining, and I please request you to commence your lecture, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the learned participants in this group. So let me, start with a disclaimer that I am not here to teach or preach anything, because as I understand that all of you come from diverse academic fields with rich experience, and I'm sure that many of you might have, really contributed to the growth of education in your respective domain of expertise as well as in your area. However, this interaction through various MMTTCs basically gives us an opportunity to discuss with each other, share our own experience, and collectively see that how the best practices can be shared across various higher educational institutions. So while Madhuri ma'am, she herself is an internationally acclaimed researcher with wonderful global exposure. So when he shared with me that I should come and interact with the participants here, so I thought that it would be a great opportunity for me to share my perspective on something which is one of the utmost important area for higher education these days, which is the skill development perspective. So before I start proceeding with my thoughts and my perspective, I would like to know from all of you that what is your view on this particular topic, right? When you look at this term skill development, what exactly comes to your mind? Either you can unmute yourself or share your perspective, or you can just write your thoughts in the chat room, and then we take the discussion forward. So I'll appreciate, it's a small group. So I'll appreciate that if we, start interacting, the learning would be much more better. So if few of the participants would share their thoughts, then, I can take it forward. So what comes to your mind when you look at this term skill development?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah,
Gangu.
yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, the skill development means like building and improving abilities and knowledge and competencies. Like when you are participating anywhere or when you are working, like you can take like we are talking about IKS, but you can take in the society, like for example, Dobi. So or like barber or any person, what they are doing their profession in that they have to go in in a unique way, like to generate more profit. Like as a management student, I can take those examples. Whenever you are depending on one profession, like you must be in unique way, then only you can generate more profit. That my intention is that what I want to say is the skill development means building and improve ability, knowledge and competencies. Then only you can grow in personally as well as in professionally, sir.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Sir. What you have
Hello,
basically said is,
hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I'll come to you, Dr. Devidas. Just let me summarize. So what you're saying is knowledge, competencies, which is, outcome focused. So yes, Dr. Devidas.
Skill development means improve the work performance within a short span of time. Work performance improvement by a short time.
Okay. Okay. So improvement in minimum possible time, right? Anyone else?
I would like to add, sir, nowadays we are facing a lot of problems in, handling the students. So the skills needed by the teachers is, I think, very, very important nowadays because we are facing different generations now. New generations having, again, exposed to a lot of information. So what the skills needed to handle the students is a very big task. You can
Absolutely.
talk on that as well.
The way, the generations are changing, the technology is changing. So I think very valid point shared, but we need to ask ourselves, are we really ready, to really deal with the generation that is coming? We all know that, all these, the kind of students, those who are entering the higher educational space right now are those who are born after 2005 or so, 2004, 2005 or so. So this is something, that collectively higher education institutions across the country will have to really think on that. How do we, look at the entire education in times to come? And what role the skill development can play in ensuring that the, the vision given by our Honorable Prime Minister of being a Wish Guru by 2047, right? So the Honorable Prime Minister has said that Bharat ko by 2047, we have to reclaim our glory. Again, the emphasis is on reclaiming our glory, which means that in the ancient past, our society, our way of learning, our education system might have been so evolved that we used to, rule the entire world. And can we, redo that? Can we reclaim that by 2047? And in order to realize this vision of being Vishguru, higher educational institutions have a very, very important role to play. We are already, at the end of 2025, so which basically means we are just left with around 21 to 22 years left, just 2 decades left to reach 2047. And it's very important for all of us to ask this question, that are the higher educational institutions in India really ready for that? What we have been doing in last so many decades, if we keep on doing that, will we really realize this vision? Or is there a need to do something really different? As one of the participants was saying that uniqueness has to come so that, the desired outcome is there. Though being a management student, he was talking of profit. But over here, if we look at, if the vision is, and the end outcome, we are looking that we would once again become a prosperous nation. In that direction, higher educational institutions are really ready to, train the young students, those who are there. So just imagine someone who is born in 2025, right now in this year, would be entering into the higher educational institutions in 2047. So we all know that what is the current scenario. Someone, let us, just imagine ourselves 5 years down the line. Let us say that by 2030, which students would be coming to us in colleges and universities? The students, those who are born after 2011, would be entering into the universities and colleges. And we all know that the generation born after 2010, 2011, right, what we call them as the alpha generation. And currently, we say that it's the beta generation. The alpha generation has witnessed COVID, right? So in 2020, when COVID struck, these kids might be around close to 9 to 10 years of age. And they have, done their entire schooling for close to 2 years sitting at their home. And all of them are very tech savvy, right? All of them have access to 24/7 internet. All these kids, are looking for information on YouTube. They are able to find answers to their problems on YouTube. And now with artificial intelligence gaining momentum, the entire pattern of their learning is different. So are teachers really ready for this? Are we really ready for this? We need to ask ourselves. And if we are ready, perfectly fine. If we are not ready, these students are not going to come to colleges and universities.
Can I say one thing, sir?
Yes, Dr. Gangu, please.
Yeah. As you said, yes, sir. People are learning from YouTube somewhere, but they are not able to apply it in that what they are doing. They are not able to apply it. But the skill development means you should learn and you should practice, as well as you have to apply where you want to grow. But the people, they are learning, but they are not able to apply that.
So we cannot generalize that. Let me give you a very simple example, right? Let me, I keep on looking at specifically the young kids. Just imagine, there is a problem. The way, say, for example, my laptop, there is some issue and it is not working. I have seen that, kids in the age group of 12 years, 13 years, 14 years are able to resolve that issue. They're able to troubleshoot that particular problem without actually, gaining theoretical knowledge or theoretical understanding it. This entire generation is, they look at information and are also applying. We really need to understand the learning pattern of these kids, right? So I'll request you that, if we, even, I cannot also cannot generalize what I'm trying to say. But of course, what we need to understand is that the sources of knowledge, sources of information, and the way the learning style of this kids is changing. And over there, application part is also there. I'll share few thoughts in the subsequent slides, and probably then things will become much more clear, right? Now, it's almost 5 years plus that the NEP 2020 has been in vogue. And it's 2025, and many a times we are still discussing about it. We're still discussing about it. One of the very important question that we need to understand and ask ourselves is, though many of the higher educational institutions across the country claim that they have implemented national education policy, in their institutions, but is the implementation in the true spirit, or the entire way in which NEP has been implemented is just like the old wine in the new bottle? So you're just changing the packaging simply by writing that it is as per NEP 2020. The entire curriculums across various universities have resolved. So what is really important is that understanding the true spirit of the policy will only ensure that the vision of being a wish guru would ultimately be realized. So if you look at the NEP 2020, all of you are very well versed with it. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but I was just doing a content analysis that which words, how these words are getting repeated in the entire policy. So if you look at the top 4 words, right, which are frequently coming in the policy document, of course, there is emphasis on knowledge. Knowledge creation is very important. Knowledge dissemination is important. But apart from that, there is a lot of emphasis on vocational, right? Vocationalizing the education. There is too much of emphasis on the concepts like multidisciplinary approach or transdisciplinary approach. There is equal importance giving to the skilling part, right? Skill, how do you know? It's important to ensure that the kids, those who are coming to colleges and universities, are adequately skilled, adequately equipped, so that they're able to meet the challenges of their respective profession, respective industry. And of course, they're able to, deal with the changing economic, social, political scenario across the world. There is emphasis on, the term professional keeps on coming. Innovation, it talks of innovation, right? And also it talks of, though it talks of teacher, but equally, it's more centric towards student. So ultimately, at the end, the real beneficiary of the entire higher education space is the student, and mentoring is done. Though, I was surprised to see that it doesn't talk too much of happiness and well-being. But of course, probably that could have been one of the missing point. But here, apart from, the knowledge-driven approach, which is, one of the benchmark of our curriculum design pedagogy across majority of the institutions, has always been, our curriculums have always been, or the syllabus have always been focusing on, pushing too much of knowledge aspect across various disciplines. So vocation is something, the policy basically talks of. Though, in India, many of the, even UGC came up with this idea of the vocational programs, the BVOC and the MVOC program. But majority of the higher education always thought, and even the students always thought, that these BVOC programs are inferior to the traditional degree programs. So they are the second grade programs, and that is how, the entire way in which these programs were handled were also in the same direction. Whereas the real spirit of, introducing the vocational programs was that by the end, once the student completes the particular degree program, he is able to, gain a meaningful employment, or is able to, contribute to the economic growth of the region as well as the nation. So if you look at the concept of vocation, it is something, what we say, that answering a call to discover one's unique gift and employ them in service for common good. So this is more a philosophical this thing. But from education point of view, it is something that if I start loving something, if I enjoy doing something, and if I'm able to build my profession in that particular domain, my likelihood of success is going to be much more higher, because by the time I complete my education, I will be, acquiring adequate skills, which will be giving me meaningful employment, right? Which will be giving me meaningful employment. And that is something, we really need to ask ourselves. There is a Japanese concept of ikagai, which also, differentiates between these terms, the vocation, the profession, right? So both these terms are really differentiated. So ideally, if we also look at how our students are making choices when it comes to choosing or selecting programs, hardly, they get a flexibility or a choice in terms of selecting a particular course which they really enjoy. The packages are designed by higher education universities and colleges, and students have to go through that particular this thing with limited choice of really looking at what they really intend to do. So very important question that we really need to ask ourselves is that, is knowledge different from skill? There is always this fight. What should really be the focus of your entire learning pedagogy? Too much emphasis on knowledge, or the focus should really be on skill, or we really need to create a balance? Are they two sides of the same coin? Are they mutually exclusive things? Is knowledge and skill are mutually exclusive, or are they two sides of the same coin? Without skill, knowledge cannot be learned, and without knowledge, the skill cannot be acquired. So that's something, we really need to think about it. Though UGC came up with the pattern, where it says that you need to have skill-based courses. So there are theory-based courses and there are skill-based courses. A very important question one need to ask is that, can you run a skill-based course without, delivering adequate knowledge? Or, a knowledge without skill? Typically, if you see the way we have learned, and still, many of the education is still going in that particular way, I always ask this question, that what should come first? Should theory come first or should practical come first? So what is the view of the audience? What should be, come first? The theory part should come first, or the practical part should come first?
Sure.
Sir, first learning
Theory part.
process, sir. Theory part should
Theory.
come, and after that we should practice based on that, and after that we have to apply it, sir.
Okay, so first is theory, then practical, and then application. What you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes,
Any other
yes,
view? What if we reverse this process? Let someone apply a particular this thing, and then subsequently, theory can follow.
So both can work fine. Both
Pardon?
are I think both are absolutely okay. It depends from situation to situation, actually.
Mm-hmm. So in what
without
context do
practice,
you think that practical
how
would
you can
have
apply?
better, doing a practical would be better than, doing a theory first?
Yeah, a practical will make them understand the theory more impactfully. It's like following the inductive-deductive approach,
Mm-hmm.
So they derive the theory from practice, basically.
They derive the theory from practice, right? So again, rightly said, over the years, many of us in the education system have realized that it's more important to, impart theory first. And then probably once you have a good understanding of theory, then only you can understand the practical. Then only you can understand the practical. But, if you look at the ancient way, I'll come to that, practice always dominated first, right? The first task was that, can you really practice doing something? If you're able to do something, for example, a farmer who has limited understanding of theory, right, practices first. And if the interest is there, and if you can supplement the practice with the theoretical knowledge, the person would be much more effective, rather than, only focusing on theory with limited emphasis on the skill development or the practical part, would have very limited understanding, right? And, both are equally important. Both are equally important. In what direction, the learning has to take place would, again, as rightly said, would depend upon context to context. But you just cannot, escape with the theory part. my own experience recently, I'm going to share one of the program that we started at our university recently, where we realized that, if you initiate the entire learning process through practical and let the theory follow later on, the learning of the students is much more better, much more better. I'll be sharing that, towards the end of my presentation. So of course, knowledge, skills, and abilities are very, very important. Now, the challenge is that how do we bring into our own education system? How do we ensure that the skilling gets adequate weightage in our curriculum design, the way we have been teaching? And can we learn something from the ancient past? What our ancestors used to be doing, as far as the Indian knowledge system is concerned? Are there any guidelines which can be taken forward and ensure that the education system in our country also imbibes that? So let us look at that, how the ancient civilizations used to focus on the skilling part. So if you look at the ancient civilizations, the skilling always referred to the development and transmission of specialized knowledge, techniques, and craftsmanship with an objective of survival, societal growth, and cultural continuity. Skilling
Excuse me.
was always integrated into your daily life, right? Skilling was never seen as something, outside of you. It was always considered to be part of the community practices. There was a lot of emphasis on, the traditions and how intergenerational transmission of these skills. And simultaneously, the entire learning process was linked not only to religion, but economic development and social hierarchies. So they always believed that it is only through the skilling part that the societal growth will really happen, or the community would really evolve. And skills were always considered to be lifeblood of these ancient societies, right? So they always believed, our ancestors always believed, that for every person, they have to acquire certain skill. And if you're able to master that skill, if you're able to, equip yourself and master that skill, you will be, considered better in the society. So skilling was always considered to be holistic. It was not only the technical part, but also moral, spiritual, all these angles were covered. And the craftsmanship excellence was always valued, right? So individuals were valued not by titles, but their tangible abilities, right? Tangible abilities are very important. And more importantly, entire skilling was always context-based, which means what is the requirement of the society right now, how the environment is changing, what are the community needs, and what kind of skills will really help you to survive and ensure the safety of people around you. Many trades were inherited, and skill also defines one's social status and identity. We all know that our ancient societies were structured around different, what we now call them as caste. The one view that we have been learning and listening is that a caste-based society, these castes were nothing. They were actually linked with certain skill set. So each community or sub-community would, be a master in one particular domain. They would acquire skill, pass on skill from one generation to the other. And that's how, they were able to ensure their contribution in the overall economic growth and everything, right? Some of the features in the past was they always believed in what, was learning by doing, right? So moment, the child was able to reach a particular age where, he can be engaged into a meaningful employment. Generally, their families used to tell the person to do it. So what we call as the apprenticeship model these days. So as early as you start doing, your learning capabilities would be much more better. And of course, someone who want to excel at, someone who want to acquire more knowledge in that particular domain can, go deeper into the theoretical part, can go deeper into the research part, and then that's how you can master it. For example, not why to go into the ancient past. Recently also, Ramanujan, we know that a great mathematician, never had any degree in mathematics. Never had any degree in mathematics till the time he was doing it. He was solving issues. And moment he started approaching various professors in United Kingdom, they thought that who is this person? How can he, look into the issues that probably they have never thought? And later on, the more advanced theoretical knowledge was shared with him. In India also, there used to be artisan communities, right? For example, if you look at the Mauryan period or the Gupta period, the concept of Shreni or gun, right, was very popular. Agriculture, survival skills were taught to everyone, right? Almost everyone used to have these skills. Military martial training was considered as an essential skill because after all, survival is important. And subsequently, people, those who wanted to know more, the scientific and the intellectual training also started evolving. Art and aesthetics again was one area which had a lot of importance, and that's how we see that the way our culture, heritage, music, dances, everything evolved was that the art and aesthetic mastery was also considered very important. And many skills were tied to spiritual or religious role. For example, temple architecture, if you see, right, or the ritual crafts, or the manuscript illumination, all of them reflect, the kind of skill sets these people used to have in the ancient times. Couple of days, I was just talking to a few of my students. Recently, we in Jammu and Kashmir witnessed a lot of rains and floods were also there. So a lot of infrastructure damage happened. But when we look around, we observe that many of the old structures, even bridges which were 100 years old, survived the floods, whereas something which was, say, 20 years old could not, survive the floods. So the question, that we were trying to look at is, with the advancement of science and technology, right, the existing new structures would have really survived. Whereas people in the ancient past, probably they were more of, craftsmen, were able to, skillfully create structures which have really survived in the long run. So therefore, slides are not moving. Are the slides not moving?
Yes, sir. Not moving. Still you are in first slides.
Just a second, just a second. Is it moving now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, is it moving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. So, right. So what I was just sharing that learning by doing an apprenticeship model, just shared this. So let's move forward. Even, I was looking at when we talk of what was happening in our region, but if you look at the ancient civilizations, for example, Greece is also one of the ancient civilization. What is their concept of wisdom, right? How do they look at the wisdom? So they have basically, taken 4 different dimensions. So one is what they call them is the episteme, right? They focus on 3 things: episteme, sophia, and techne, right? So scientific knowledge, theoretical knowledge, technical knowledge, and practical knowledge. 4 aspects they basically look at. So scientific knowledge, something, which is universal, which is invariable, which is context independent. Theoretical knowledge, which basically focuses on, the power of reasoning, deep understanding to know why certain things happen. Technical knowledge, which is, part of the skilling part, focuses on craftsmanship, craft, art, know who, know what, know when, know where, and know how, right? And all these things, when they combine together, results into practical knowledge attributes, which is, has the based on practical value, rationality, capability of rationality thinking, and so on. So our, the ancient way of, acquiring knowledge and wisdom, I would say, was much more evolved. They always knew that the scientific knowledge, theoretical knowledge, technical knowledge, all of them have to combine together in order to ensure, the right kind of expertise really gets generated. But, the current way, we really need to ask, and this is what, the national education policy also wants the higher education system to really emerge and imbibe that into our curriculum. But if you look at the way, the majority of the universities and colleges, including my own university, I would say, are still stuck in that old model, though they claim that we are as per NEP, they're still stuck in the column that we have to, create syllabus. We have to ensure everything is there part of the syllabus. The same old examination has to follow. There is more emphasis on, parting the theoretical knowledge to the student with very little emphasis on the technical knowledge or the skilling part, uh, which is, I think, is really affecting the society as well. So what we really need to understand is, as the ancient wisdom always said, that skilling was always context specific. What is the need of the community, right? How is the environment changing? Are we training the younger generation as per the changing needs, and also as per, the needs of that particular industry? Uh, I come from a discipline, for example, tourism, and we keep on discussing this, that right now, are the curriculum or the syllabus really in line with what the industry is expecting? And many a time, we are forced to think, no, we are still stuck into the past. Though we try to, change, come up with modifications, but the industry is changing much more faster than what we are doing, right? For example, recently, if you look at the IT space, recently there was a news that TCS, which is one of the big IT giant, has laid off.
So,
Yeah, sorry. So I was just talking of the TCS. TCS, for example, laid off close to 32,000 people. I was, one of my student who works with Google. Recently, I was interacting with him, and he was just sharing that, in another 2-3 years, with the popularity of quantum computing, many of the computers engineers would become redundant, right? So, which means the knowledge which they acquired or the skill that they acquired may not be relevant 2 years from now. In that case, how do you ensure that the universities, which are the universities really ready to train the next generation of students? What kind of skill sets would really be required in times to come? So, I was just reading one of the reports which came from a very popular magazine, Forbes. And they was talking that what are the 16 important skills professionals would need to build a future-proof career, right? So this is a 2024 published report. Some of the skills that they talked of is human-centric leadership. They also talk that expectation setting, which is one of the major issues. Third, I think, is one of the very, very important, that is the current generation of students coming out of the education system, are they capable enough to navigate the uncertainty? The uncertainty is so high that what is true today might not be true tomorrow. So are you able to navigate that? Creating a growth mindset and also ensuring that there is a mix of technical and soft skills, which I think is very important. Is the current generation ready to embrace change, which I think is very, very important? And Adaptability. Adaptability is another thing that is equally important to be trained in the next generation. And of course, the problem solving skills. I think it is one of the very, very important issue that are we training kids, those who have the capability to solve the problems. It's not about solving the questions and numericals, but are they able to sense the problem of the society? Are they able to comprehend the problems of the society? Are they able to look at the solutions that how these problems can really be resolved? That is something, is very, very important. So we say that you need to build up capabilities and skills of, what we call as sense and respond. Are you able to sense the changing dynamics? Are you able to sense the changing society? Are you able to sense the changing industry? These kind of skills, I'm sure none of the curriculums really focus on that. Though the entire focus is that let us impart knowledge, let us impart knowledge, let us impart knowledge. Right? For example, can you quickly write your discipline in the chat room? What is your discipline? So that I get a fair idea of that. What
Okay,
are
sir.
the disciplines? Just quickly write the discipline that you belong to. Management. Okay, I'll request others also to quickly, if I get 5-7 responses, it will be better for me. Okay, chemistry. Number 31. A few more. Okay, so what's your name? I don't like numbers. 31 from chemistry. The
Yes,
faculty from chemistry.
my name is Archana Kachre. I am assistant professor in chemistry
Okay,
at
okay, Dr. Archana. So if I ask you that, what percentage of students who complete their master's degree in chemistry, what percentage of students, those who complete their master's degree in chemistry, ultimately contribute to the discipline after completion of the degree? Right? So either one way or the other, they are, contributing to the field of chemistry.
yes, there are many students at BSc taking admission to chemistry, but
After MSc. After MSc, still, remaining with the field.
exactly, I could not tell you what percentage.
Random, based on your understanding across, what percentage of student do you think, ultimately start contributing to the field of chemistry?
At 30%.
30%. So out of these 30%, how many would be the teachers? Majority of would be contributing by becoming teachers of chemistry.
5%.
So if we remove teachers, then what percent?
25% goes to the industry.
25% goes to the industry.
Many are to industries. Some becomes teacher, but many students goes in industry.
Wonderful, wonderful. Any other discipline? Management, Dr. Gang, what's your view? Management wale to काफी रुकते हैं ना, so they stay with the discipline. What's your view?
Yes, sir. My name is Dr. Gangu, sir.
Yeah. So what percentage of students after completing the management degree stick to this particular profession?
So maximum they are working like, people maximum percentage in marketing to sell that one. Are remaining in HR and a few members in finance activities, very less. Because through finance they cannot go.
Let us take, say, for example, disciplines like economics or disciplines like history or geography or sociology, right? So what we find that, majority of the higher education systems, the way our curriculums are designed, we are trying to make everyone a teacher or a good researcher.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is the entire focus. That is the entire focus. But if you look at the national education policy, the recent NEP says that after completing your graduation, right? If you are really curious to acquire more knowledge, you can straight away go and do your PhD. There is no need for you to even do a master's degree program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Master's degree program. And the national education policy also says that by the end of first year and second year, you should be capable enough. If you want to exit that particular program, you either get a certificate or a diploma, and then you can move out and start working. The entire focus is that the undergrad programs which are happening across the country should be designed in a particular way that a gainful, meaningful employment is generated immediately after the completion of the degree. And only those who are really curious to, contribute to the scientific knowledge domain in that particular discipline can ultimately opt for a PhD program, and if need be, do a one-year master's program and then subsequently proceed. So in times to come, the real challenge would be that how do you survive the master's degree program? Because in the undergrad program, there has to be emphasis on the skilling of the workforce. That's very important, right? So there is another, Dr. Gangu might be knowing, a very famous consulting firm, McKinsey. They also, is trying to talk of that since the future world of work is going to change, and this was 2021, by 2025, we have seen almost everything is changing, and the pace of change is so fast. So they broadly identified 13 skill groups across 4 different categories. So the 4 different categories were, I'll come back to this slide. One is the cognitive skills, interpersonal skills, self-leadership skills, and digital skills. And within these 4 categories, they identified different skill groups. Number 1, within cognitive, for example, it's very important to have the ability to think critically, right? Which means, are you able to solve structured problem solving, irrespective of the profession where people go, right? Mental flexibility, which means your ability to learn and learn faster. Are you able to translate knowledge to different contexts? I think that's very important. Though I've acquired knowledge as part of my degree, but am I able to translate that knowledge to a different context? Similarly, communication. For example, ideas like storytelling, right? Nobody used to talk all these things. Am I able to, plan my ways of work? Right. So concepts like, are you able to plan your work? Which means concepts like agile thinking, right? Are you able to think in that particular manner? Similarly, interpersonal skills, right? Which are very important, because ultimately we all know that all major contributions always happen in team, right? It happens in team. So are you able to inspire trust, right? Concepts like crafting and inspiring vision. All these things are very important, irrespective of whichever domain you go, whether you become an academician, whether you go to an industry, whether you go into civil services, whether you become a scientist, whatever it is, right? These skill sets are very, very important. Similarly, in self-leadership, right? Now, for example, if you look at entrepreneurship, now one would argue that I am a teacher. Why should I be really bothered about entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is not only about starting your own business, but are you able to drive change and innovation, right? So even if as a teacher, if can I, bring something new, am I ready to break orthodoxy, something which was happening in the past? Do I have the capability to do that, right? All these are skill sets which are very, very critical in all spheres of life, right? Similarly, digital, it's impossible to survive without being digitally fluent in these days and having that computational thinking, right? Algorithmic thinking. Nobody used to talk about it. So always people used to believe that computational skill is only for those who are taking up IT as a discipline. Now, today we know that that is a way of thinking. Algorithmic thinking is an approach of thinking. That can I, really logically create a relationship between two or more variables, irrespective of the discipline where I am. Even for example, in humanities, these days people are talking of digital humanities, right? And of course, understanding digital systems. So, McKinsey came up with an idea that these are the skill sets which would be required in the future world of work. Now, the question is, what is our way? Is our educational, are the undergrad degrees that we at higher educational institution offering, are we, catering to these skills through our curriculum, right? Through our curriculum. So, if you look at various disciplines, for example, how is someone who is interested to do history, BA history, is he able to, does he have the understanding of artificial intelligence to an extent that he's able to combine both these disciplines? For example, someone who is in languages, right? For example, doing BA English, he would say that what is my job? I don't have to really think of the algorithmic thinking part. So I think that is where the change is really desired, right? Change is really desired. A very recent report from India's Employer Forum, right, in 2025, they said, and they said that there is a growing importance of fungible skills. Now, this is something, I also came across it for the first time, a new concept, fungible skills. What it basically says is that, are you able to take, your skill set? Are you really able to take your skill set from one domain to the other? So that fungibility part is very, very important, that you're able to do it or not, right? So we all know that how, the artificial intelligence is going to impact the future of jobs very soon in times to come. So that is something that's going to impact the all the disciplines. Also, conceptually, if you look that there is a difference between structure of knowledge and structure of process, right? So theoretically, if you see the structure of knowledge, how it, really helps, it basically gives too much emphasis on facts, and on the basis of facts, the topics is derived, and on the basis of topic, concepts are brought in, and then subsequently theory building in happen, right? So if we look at, the way our curriculums are designed, there is too much emphasis on topics, that we create a syllabus. In this syllabus, there are 5 units. Each unit will have 10 topics. Each topic will correspond to a particular fact. So which means, the entire focus has been on the knowledge dissemination by laying too much emphasis on facts. Whereas the structure of process is different. What does the structure of process says? It says that, through skilling and process-driven approach, if you follow a process-driven approach, the same concepts can be understood, and ultimately, the learning will take place. The learning will take place. And this is something, what I think in times to come, the higher educational institutions will have to reorient the way they are looking at the teaching learning pedagogies. That rather than only focusing on facts, creating topics, I think a blend of both these things would really be the need of the hour. And I'm just saying this based on our own, my own experience with a very interesting initiative, which we at University of Jammu have started 3 years ago. And my own experiences, of course, the learning becomes much more better if a combination of this is taken care of it. And I would spend another 15-20 minutes on sharing this initiative. because, you'll see that how things, can be trained and taken forward in times to go. So our university, under the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, launched this program called Design Your Degree, right? I'm sure that you might be thinking that many other universities also have. But the focus here was that we really wanted to transform the education in the true spirit of the national education policy. So we call this program as an innovative 4-year undergraduate program. And I'm associated with this program since inception. And we call ourselves as mentors, not as teachers, because we know that the younger generation, as Madhuri ma'am was saying, that what are the skills that we require to deal with the current generation? So we call ourselves as mentors, and we say that the learning, it's the co-creation of the learning process. I'm not here to teach you anything. We identify an issue, we identify a problem, and collectively learn in that particular process. And believe me, my own experience is that the younger generation is much more smarter. And what they really need is, an approach of how to think, right? How to think in that particular direction. So I'll just give you an overview of, what we are doing. So this program, the 4-year program, is broadly divided into 2 parts: the first 2 years and the last 2 years. In the first 2 years of the program, the entire focus is on imparting skills, right? So for 4 semesters, full 4 semesters, the focus is that what can we do, the entire courses which are offered, the focus of each of the courses is to develop skills among the younger generation. Now, what kind of skills? Skills which are, we really just discussed, which have been guided by the consulting reports, and the skills that would help these kids in their future career path. Skills like computational thinking, skills like analytical thinking, skills like creativity. Now, how do you teach someone creativity? It's one of the big chance. Skills like problem solving. Skills like problem solving. So problem solving skills. Skills like critical thinking. Critical thinking skills. How do you teach someone a critical thinking skill? Capability of working in team. So team skills. Entrepreneurial skills. Are you able to think differently? Can you become a risk taker? So the first 2 years of the entire program, the entire focus is on, enabling these kids, these students with skill sets. Now, how do you ensure, what is the approach? What is the pedagogy? The pedagogy is also very innovative and novel, that all the students have to work on projects which are based on real life problems. Real life problems. So they work in groups, identify a problem of the society or problem around them, try to find a solution to that particular problem. And in that process, whatever knowledge is required, they're able to acquire. So let me quickly take you through some of the titles of the courses, and you will get a flavor of what exactly we have been doing and successfully doing it. Now we have already admitted the 3rd batch, right? So in semester 1, I'll just read it because the font size is very small. I am not sure whether you're able to read it or not. In this semester 1, there is a course on life skills. Second course title is Mathematics Without Phobia. Right. So we all know that many of the students, they leave mathematics after class 10th because they find it very difficult. They are unable to comprehend. And also they are not able to relate it, that what is the need for mathematics in a real life scenario, right? So we introduced this course, and one of our professor of mathematics deals with this course. And what we have, really observed, there is one student who left mathematics after class 10, is now one of the best students who is able to, look into mathematical problems because his interest got excited. He said that I never saw mathematics that can also be viewed in this particular perspective, right? Because even today the entire focus is that how do you solve a particular problem. No one tells that what is the need for a quadratic equation, for example. What is the under what circumstances do I need to use a Pythagoras theorem? Nobody tells these kids during class 8, 9. There is only focus that how do you solve a particular problem, create complicated problems, and the child have little understanding that why he is actually doing it. And by the time many of the students start losing interest in that particular subject and they leave it, right? Then there is a course understanding the world through data lens, right? Can we survive without processing numbers? There are so many numbers around us that if we are not comfortable with numbers, many of the things will not be able to understand, right? So every child should be comfortable in terms of processing numbers, right? And at least minimum understanding of that. Expressing creativity, right? Again, a very innovative pedagogy is something that we use in this particular course. For example, how do you teach pedagogy, creativity to students, right? What kind of syllabus would you want? And even if you teach 10 different concepts, that will not guarantee that the child would become creative. So the pedagogy in this very simple. Under this particular course, every student has to perform a live theater, right? For example, the recently batch which they did, there is a very famous book, Rashmi Rathi. So the entire batch, the complete batch was to perform a live theater on Rashmi Rathi. Now, what is the advantage in this and what is the students tell us is, and many of the students have never done a theater. So in the process of, performing a theater, they have understood history, they have understood culture, they have improved their communication skills, their confidence is much more better. When you're facing, the recent student batch of students, they performed in front of the Lieutenant Governor, right? So when you're facing an audience, live audience, the kind of preparation that has gone into, performing on the stage has given them so much of confidence and creative expression that they say that they never thought that they can also do it, right? So that entire purpose of the curriculum get achieved. I was mentoring students on exploring the surroundings, right? So many of you would agree with me that the younger generation is so much socially isolated and they're only glued to their screens, whether it's the mobile or television, that they're highly disconnected from the real world. Unless and until a child gets connected to the real world, the real learning will never happen, right? So classroom की दीवारों में, university की दीवारों में learning नहीं हो सकती. And many a times, unless and until you go onto the field, the learning will not take place. So the entire focus of this course is that how do we, take the students onto the field, they start observing what is around them, right? There are so many things in our surroundings which can give very interesting lessons to these kids. And of course, IT in everyday life. So technical part also gets covered in semester 1. So you look at the diversity. In the second semester, again, there is a course on discovering the self, decoding the world through artificial intelligence. So can we imagine a scenario in times where we do not have understanding of AI? AI is going to dominate everything, right? So why don't we teach our students that how the world is going to change through AI and what exactly is AI? Then I mentor the course on world of startups to real life case studies, right? I've been teaching management students and tourism students for more than 2 decades now. But my experience with this particular group of students who joined this particular program is something totally different, right? So let me tell you when, one important thing I would like to share is in the first 2 years of this course, the student doesn't have to write any exam, राइट, तो एग्जाम नहीं लिखना। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ी डिस्कशन डिबेट हुई दैट इफ वी बच्चों को एग्जाम का इतना प्रेशर है कि उनकी लर्निंग एग्जाम सेंट्रिक ही होती है बस। And therefore, the policy also says that can we get rid of rote learning? So you cannot get rid of rote learning unless and until you change the evaluation system. So examination is only one form of evaluation. So our vice chancellor said कि पहले 2 साल में कोई एग्जाम नहीं, हटा दो एग्जाम. Initially as teacher, we were also teaching for more than 2 decades. We were also having this inertia, नहीं सर ये तो खराब होगा, बच्चा पढ़ेगा ही नहीं. उन्होंने कहा कर दो, कोई बात नहीं, देखेंगे. Right? So startups में, the simple goal which I give to my students is, those who enter this undergrad program, I told them that we have 4 months of time. In 4 महीनों में I cannot teach you business, I cannot teach you everything. But हम एक गोल लेके चलते हैं, can we start a business in 4 months? So these students just coming out of the school, past 12th, initially was having inertia, कैसे करेंगे सर? मैंने कहा नहीं, just think about it. So I came across a particular concept that what we can do in 4 months. So I came across a concept which is called as the drop shipping business. So you acquire technical knowledge and simultaneously you also know how to run a business. So I said that I have no idea what this drop shipping is. I have never studied about it, neither I have done it. I came across a 10 episode YouTube collection of videos, and I told the students that you have to see all these videos, and after seeing all these videos, we'll once again discuss. So after a week or so, once again the discussion happened, and many of the students actually saw this 10 series video. मैंने नहीं देखी, time ही नहीं था, तो I was not able to see it. So they were much more aware than I was. But my question was that, can you do it? Do you think it's possible, whatever the 10 video says? And all of them said this, yes, sir, we can do it. None of them were coming from technical background, right? Some of them were coming from humanities, some from commerce, some from sciences. So they said, we can do it. So we were having 90 days time, 90 days, and within 90 days, within these 90 days, believe me, all these students were able to establish their own startups. And the kind of presentations they were giving, I have never seen my MBA student making that kind of presentation. Where the entire focus is, मैंने उनको पढ़ाया कुछ नहीं, और बिना पढ़ाए आपने ये कर लिया, तो अगर मैंने पढ़ा दिया तो आप क्या करोगे, right? So they were able to actually generate real revenue at the end of the particular course, and many of them are still doing it. Right? Second year also, I thought I was a little bit apprehensive. But when I saw that these students have come up with wonderful ideas, not only ideas, but they've actually done it. Right? Actually done it. So अब उनका हर problem सोचने का तरीका ही बदल गया. Right? They have started thinking everything. उनको हर चीज में business नजर आना शुरू हो जाता है. Can we find a business in it? For example, one of the groups in the recently completed batch, they started an initiative, they called it Denimo. So what they're doing is they are taking old genes from various donors, converting these genes into meaningful products, placing them on different stores and selling it. So they've started generating revenue out of it and also giving meaningful employment. मैंने कभी अपने MBA में पढ़ा के थक गए, बट कभी ये चीज आउटकम निकला ही नहीं, राइट? इसी तरीके से रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजनशिप थ्रू एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, coding through generative AI, right? Another course. Semester 3, just look at the title, Developing Equipoise of Mind and Body. Understanding the challenges of climate change. Very important, right? So what we have witnessed this year, everyone has to understand what are the challenges, what exactly is climate change, क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, उससे आपको क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है? Does the world revolve around economics? Right? For example, everything that's happening in the world, the economics has to play a role in it. For example, the way, the tariff war is happening between US and India. or where the SEO summits are happening. Everything there is economics, right? Now, if the students start looking at this from this particular lens, the entire perspective changes. Technologies of future, right? So technical domain knowledge has to, technical skills are very important. Social innovation, right? How do you take care of the problems of the society? Can you, many of the few of our students, those who completed, have started their social enterprise. One of the group, started an initiative called Youth for Elders, and very interesting, initiative taken by them. Their entire evaluation happens on the kind of initiative and the projects that they do, which are directly linked to the problems of the society, right? Then demystifying human behavior, marvels of the world. Since JNK is a tourism-driven economy, so we kept a course exploring tourism in JNK and entrepreneurial perspective. Exploring the world of cinema with smartphones, right? So everything, is social media, everything is Instagram. How do these people look at the world through their own smartphones? Food as medicine, right? And digital humanities. Now, if you look at the entire structure of 2 years, the entire focus is to develop the skills among the students by working on projects in a team, interdisciplinary projects in a team. Now, here the student combines 2 or 3 different subjects in creating a single project and then start working on it, right? Our own experience has been, if we compare these students with a traditional, if it's a student coming from a traditional degree program, the ability of the students coming from this design your degree program is much more. He's able to think in multiple dimensions. So that multidisciplinary approach, his way to look at situations, his mindset to look at the problems is totally different from the one who is coming from a traditional program. The traditional program student is still focusing on topics, whereas this student is focusing on process, right? So structure, if you look at this, the traditional programs are focusing on following the system of structure of knowledge. फैक्ट्स बता दो, टॉपिक्स बता दो, उसके बाद वो सब्जेक्ट को समझ जाएगा। नहीं समझेगा भाई, आप जितने मर्जी पढ़ा लो, जितने मर्जी टॉपिक्स यूनिट्स में डाल लो, बच्चा नहीं समझता। बट एनीवन हु हैज डन द प्रोसेस, who has gone through the process, will understand the subject much more better, right? So Dr. Gangu, who is from management, I also come from the same discipline. If you go back 20 years ago, MBA program में admission लेने के लिए work experience जरूरी होता। So someone who has worked in the industry for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, the way he is going to enjoy the MBA degree will be much more better than one who is entering simply after the graduation. Isn't it, Dr. Gangu? So one who is,
Yes, sir.
understand the process. Once who understand the process, उसको जो marketing समझ आएगी, जिसने field में काम किया, उसका मुकाबला ही कोई नहीं. So therefore, again, this is an argument that if this child goes through the process, for example, I was talking of the startup, जिस बच्चे ने अपना ड्रॉप शिपिंग का बिजनेस खड़ा कर लिया, उसको ये पता चल गया कि प्रोडक्ट सिलेक्शन कैसे होती है, उसको ये पता चल गया डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसे होती है, उसको ये पता चल गया प्राइसिंग कैसे करनी है, उसके बाद जब हम उसको मार्केटिंग समझाएंगे, उसको पूरे अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगी, राइट? So therefore, it's a different approach. And now in the last 2 years, we are not compromising. The student has to acquire the domain knowledge, right? Now, first part is, the technical part in the terms of implementation part. The second part is now the student should not feel left behind. The entire focus should also be on the domain knowledge. So the entire domain knowledge gets acquired. For example, the first batch student जो हमारे पास आए थे, few of them have opted to do a BBA degree program because they thought management में मजा आ गया उनको. And some of them have opted for a BTech. जिनका technical जिनको मजा आ गया वो BTech करना शुरू हो. So even a child who left mathematics after class 10th, right? He went to ISRO for his training. He went to IIT Mumbai for his training. And, now he has opted BTech and he's one of the brightest student in BTech. He's trying to, उसका patent जाने वाला अभी. है ना, हम यहाँ teachers भी समझ नहीं आ रहा patent क्या करें. So the child is able to, look at the problems differently and therefore come out with a solution which is much more meaningful, right? And the goal that we keep for ourselves is that any student who is entering into this program should not even opt for a master's degree program. वो graduation में इतना equip हो जाए that उसकी meaningful engagement, meaningful employment हो जाए. And believe me, now, I can say with conviction, we have the evidence, it is possible. The only challenge is that as teachers, we are not willing to change. Majority of, the problem lies with the teachers, right? I don't feel ashamed in admitting it. I myself am a teacher, but, I myself keep on looking at is that we are very static. कि मैंने ये कोर्स 20 साल पहले पढ़ा है, मेरे को ये मेरा सब्जेक्ट है, राइट? उससे कुछ नहीं होता. Unless and until, we realize that the current generation, the entire learning mechanism, the learning process is going to change, right? I was talking to one of the experts and, the concept of open book exam, the concept where you can, even find answers through chat GPT, right? For example, the art generative AI. If you get the answer, how, the challenge is that how different as a teacher you can ask beyond that, so that you are able to stimulate the thinking process of the child, right? If we look at, our entire curriculum, हमें ये चीजें सिखाई जाती हैं, how to learn, how to read, how to write, how to speak. But how to think, सोचना कैसे, है ना? Unless and until we start training our kids how to think differently, the real learning will not take place. So therefore, it's very important that, there is a need. Just a second, please. Right. So just a second, please. Right. So what is important is that unless and until, we rethink on the entire way in which, these things are to be structured, the real outcome will not come. So what I would, suggesting is that there is an urgent need that how do we look at skills? That skilling part has to be rethought by the majority of universities. And it's very important that every child, and again, I am emphasizing is that the graduation period is ultimately is going to really transform जो हम विश्व गुरु की बात कर रहे हैं. If the child becomes employable, if the child becomes capable of contributing to the society at the age of 21 or 22, right? So by the time child graduates from any college, any university, if he or she is able to contribute to the growth of the society, I think the real purpose of education will get achieved. Otherwise, the same old system in which, we have been learning and we have been teaching, if we continue with the same system, meaningful change, we can't expect meaningful change. And for that to happen, the beginning point will always be the teachers themselves. As teachers, we have to accept that unless and until we change, and the way we look at the education change, nothing much is going to change. And therefore, हम अपने IKS में भी बात करें, पुरानी बात गुरु शिष्य परंपरा की होती थी, तो आज की डेट में जरूरी नहीं कि गुरु ही शिष्य से ज्यादा जानता है. If you start accepting that a child can also teach you, right? Because I was just sharing the kind of projects that we do. Every project that the child brings gives me a new learning, and I many a times I think that I have never thought of it. Probably these kids are much more connected to the current happenings, and they're also futuristic that what will happen 10 years from now. उनके इकोसिस्टम को समझने के लिए हो सकता है मैं कॉम्पिटेंट ही नहीं, right? So therefore there is an urgent need that this is an era of disruption. This is a not incremental change will not really help us in the long run. This is an era of disruption where transformational change is required. And unless and until that transformation change happens, the outcomes are not going to change. So with this, I'll close the discussion right now. We have another 5 to 7 minutes where discussion take place. I would be happy to listen to your perspective, whether right or wrong, whether you agree or disagree, doesn't matter. But I'll be happy to listen to your thoughts and your perspective.
Dear participants, you can
Even if you
start
disagree,
the question and answer session.
Listen to your thoughts.
So I think this is definitely the area of disruption which we are going through. We are seeing the news, how the students are going on and the things what are going on in Nepal and many other places, and university stories. We are having many university stories to tell. I think your lecture was very, very good, and you gave real time experiences and knowledge about how we can do the transformation. Transformational change, as you said, is a must. So I agree with you, it is a must. And we can definitely think, grab this opportunity to, have mature discussions with ourselves firstly, and then with the students as well. So with this, I open this forum for this discussion. Any questions? As you said, is a must. So I agree with you. Short discussions with ourselves firstly, and then with the students as well. So with this, I open this forum for this discussion. Any questions? You can please on your video and ask questions. So with this, I open this forum for this discussion. Any questions? You can please on your video and ask questions.
I can't hear, ma'am.
Any question, participant?
There is some.
Roll number 42.
Yes, sir. I accept. I agreed what sir said. I don't have any questions. He cleared all the questions before starting. Lecture asked many questions. He answered that. I love that lecture. It is very good, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. Thank you.
There is.
Yes, sir. I accept. I agreed what sir said. I don't have any questions. He cleared all the questions before starting the lecture. Asked many questions. He answered that.
I think there is a disruption, some internet issues. So we can go for the vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. Yes, roll number 28.
Good afternoon, all of you. On behalf of the UGC, MMTC, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Sambhaji Nagar, I would like to extend our gratitude to Dr. Anil Gupta sir, to delivering the enlightening, informative lecture on the skill development on basis of Indian knowledge system. Sir says philosophy of skill in Asian civilization, a Greek concept of wisdom. Also, sir, University of Jammu Kashmir structure design like skill development, industrial demands, artificial intelligence, robotics, startup of internship, arts of designing, or sir say hard and soft skills. Also say giving knowledge about the skill development of knowledge in basis of Indian knowledge system. Thank you, sir. Great knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anil Gupta ji, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I leave now, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, yes, please, sir. Please, thank you.
Thank you, sir.